Okay, Math 128, this is problem 11 on the final. Basically, regardless of what all this wording says up here, you really don't care whether it's a bed or breakfast or if it's just a random set of numbers. They give you 20 numbers and they tell you to construct what's called a stem and leaf plot. And stem and leaf plot is just a way of organizing data. It's kind of like a histogram, and if you're familiar with histograms, you can kind of see how this relates, and it kind of gives you something like a histogram because it's grouping data in a certain way and then showing you how many data elements are in each of those groupings. So the first thing I think you want to do is maybe take this in two steps. I'd take a look at the data. We've got some 20s, some 30s, some 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s. Okay, so we got 20s through 70s it looks like. I mean, that's just kind of looking at the data. So let's go and just write down all the ones that are in the 20s. We got a 29, got a 28. That looks like it. Let's write down all our 30s. We got a 31. I'm not worried about having these in order yet. Once we get them broken down, there won't be too many in each group, so putting them in order will be a piece of cake. You got a 30, 39. Don't let me miss anything. 32. Okay, let's do the 40s. Oop, we don't have a 40 for sure. We got a 43. 43. 47. And we got two 44s and a 45. Okay, that's no problem. We can handle that. Okay, so what have we done? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We're halfway through. Let's do the 50s. Ooh, looks like we missed this 27. Let me scan one more time for 20s. 29. 27 and 28. Okay. Okay, so now let's do 50s. And again, we're just trying to get the data a little more organized. Then I'll make the stem and leaf plot really easy. So looks like we got a 56. All right, 56. 59. 58. 50. There actually was a 50. Okay. Okay, that's it. So now let's do our 60s. We got 60 right there, 62, 68. And there's supposed to be some 70s, or at least one. Yep, 71 and 72. Alright, so there's supposed to be 20 pieces of data here. These are ages of 20 guests, so there ought to be 20 numbers. Let's just count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Good. Feels like we got all the numbers. And this one here is a 43. Okay. So now what's the stem and leaf plot look like? Well, kind of makes sense. We're going to have a stem. And then you're going to have multiple leaves. And the stem is going to end up being the tens digit. Okay, so we're going to list our tens digits, just that digit. So we know we got some 2s, some 20s, right? 2 represents 20 in this thing. And then we're going to have some 3s, 30s. We're going to have some 40s, some 50s, some 60s, and some 70s. And then how do we represent our data in a stem and leaf plot? Well, it works like this. You want them in order. And in the leaves, all you do in the leaves is you list the ones digits in order. So we've got 7, 8, 9 here. Now, the key to this whole stem and leaf plot is that you keep these columns neat. You know, you don't want to have you want to kind of pretend that they're spaced out evenly, because you want to easily see which one of these groupings has the highest magnitude, if that makes sense. So let's go ahead and let's do the 30s. We got a 1, 2, and a 9. Okay, so you can see, you can look at this and very quickly see that, I've got just as many 20s as I do 30s. Let's go to the 40s, and I've got a 3, 4, 4, 5, 7. Notice how I'm keeping all these columns nice and straight, and we can see that we got a lot more people in their 40s, at least at this point. Okay, we got 2 people with the same age. Okay, let's do 5s. Looks like we got a 0, 6, 8, 9. 6s, we got 0, 2, 8. Those are already in order. And we got 1 and 2. Okay? And really, that's all there is. Usually you make a legend down here, right? And you say, you might just say stem 2 and leaf 7 means, oh, you can't see that. So I'm just making a legend down here that kind of explains what this is. Means 27. Okay, so down here is just kind of like a legend, or something to tell the reader, hey, what are you looking at here? Well, this is 27, 28, 29. This is 31, 32, 39. This is enough information to get them started. That's a stem and leaf plot. That's all you have to do for that problem, and you're done with problem number 11 on the Math 128 final. It takes a little time, but it's really pretty easy stuff.